yawning.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-macabre! It is time for the only news that matters on Kiss Wednesday. And legendary producer and engineer Eddie Kramer looked back on recording Kiss's demos and suggested that Ace Frehley had been the band's heart and soul. You'd never heard anybody ever say that, except fans. The fans say it. But Ace Frehley is the heart and soul of Kiss, not Paul Stanley of Kiss. Anyway, there are many very colorful feathers in the 82-year-old producer's cap, most of which read like a list of who's who of classic rock and roll. In addition to his history-making collabs with Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, Eric Clapton, David Bowie, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, Thrash or Die, Kramer has also enjoyed a lengthy collaboration with Kiss. Oh my God, Kiss! Which included mastering Alive, often quoted as a significant milestone in live rock albums. You got that right. Boy, you measure live albums by Kiss Alive. Kiss Alive is a relentless assault of kick-assness. Anyway, the collaborators began shortly after Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley of Kiss gave up their original band, Wicked Lester, whose unreleased album Kramer called a disaster during a recent interview on the JJ French Connection podcast. At Electric Lady, I would see Gene and Paul, he said, up and down the hallways, doing their thing. Ron Johnson was the producer, and I think at the time he was also managing the Electric Lady studio. He called me up after the disaster of the Wicked Lester album, which went straight to the bloody toilet, and he said, listen, Gene and Paul, they got this idea. They want to do a rock and roll band. Would you do a demo for me? Kramer, of course, agreed, judging what he tells the Twisted Sister guitarists. Watching on the NYC band walk into the studio was one of those moments where you know you're watching history unfold. He said, so on the appointed day, Gene, Paul, and Ace, just watching these guys go in the studio was just one of those moments. When Ace walked into the studio, he was so bloody skinny. He was driving a cab in the Bronx, and he was so thin. If he turned sideways, you wouldn't even see him. But what a sweet Ace, you know? For me, he was the real heart and soul. A bloody good guitar player, much underrated, I think, by a lot of folks. Going more in depth about the impression Ace had made on him, Kramer said, I love Ace. I did the solo record with him. I've hung out with him. And just working with the guy, he was fantastic. He had his failings like everyone else, but the music he created was wonderful. A great guitar player. Terrific. And there you go. Eddie Kramer, in my opinion, the best guy for Kiss. Best producer for Kiss. You know, I've always said for the longest time that Rock and Roll Over is my favorite Kiss album, studio album. But now I think it's the first album. But still, with the first album being my favorite Kiss album, the best sounding Kiss album for me is Rock and Roll Over. And the guy did a Kiss Alive, to me the greatest. You know, I mean, that you can't take nothing away from that live album, man. Oh, it's not 100% live. Who gives a rat's ass, man? I don't know. It's fine. If you people out there, oh, I want it to be all live. Why do you talk like that? You know? Why can't you say it normal like, Hey, I like it to be all live. Why do you have to say it like, I want it to be all live? Seriously. What's wrong with you? Get therapy. But anyway, yeah, and Eddie calling Ace very underrated. I don't think so. I think Ace is perfectly rated. The amount of praise that Ace Frehley has gotten, the influence he's had on other guitar players is staggering. It's staggering. I don't think he's underrated at all. I think he's awesome. You know, what he did back then, especially the Eddie Kramer produced Ace Frehley's 78th album. I think he did Frehley's Comet too. And my God, man, Ace is like the shit, man. You think about the 70s Ace Frehley, especially the 70s Ace Frehley. I mean, a lot of people would just dismiss him because he's part of Kiss. But what he was doing in those songs, man, us Kiss geeks know what's going on. We know what's up. We know what's up with Ace Frehley in the 70s. Us Kiss geeks that were there back then, even though I got there in late 70s, around 78, 77, 78 is when I got there. But still, I'm a kid of the 70s. You couldn't escape Kiss. You just couldn't escape them in the 70s if you were my age. And I even knew back then in the 70s, man, Ace Frehley is the coolest guy in the band. He's my favorite guy in the band. I always thought that, man, because, man, hearing what he would do with the guitar solos, that is the most impressive shit he brings to the table. The guitar parts that he puts in his songs and in Gene and Paul's songs, just what he did was so fucking amazing and really original, man. Ace is an original. He knows how to write songs in a guitar solo. And he's prolific, man. He's been releasing so many damn albums, you know? And Kiss hasn't, you know? Since I think it was 2009. Ace released 4 or 5 albums and Kiss only released 2. Alright, granted, the last Ace Frehley solo album is crap. But we all know that Kiss is very much capable of doing a crap album too. But they choose not to record again because there's no money in it. It's all about the money. You know, I don't know the deal Ace Frehley has. I mean, I guess since his record company keeps releasing the same album over and over again with, oh, this one is gold, this one's blue, this one's this one's that. They keep doing that over and over again because I guess there are fans out there of Ace that want every freaking variant of everything he's recorded. And they're probably making a killing off Ace. That's why Ace has been with, E1 and whatever it's called now, Matriarch, forever, for like a decade or more now, you know? So there is money to be made with Ace. Ace can release a crappy album, but release it in 34 different colors, and there'll be people out there that'll want all 34 of them. I know, kooky, right? It's a crazy world we live in. I just want one. I'm fine with one. And usually, if I had a choice what color vinyl I would want, I'd always pick black. Black is my favorite color of vinyl. You know? And all you other people that want other different colors of vinyl, you're racist, man. Black is beautiful. That's the way to go, in my opinion. You racist. You see, you can never call me a racist because I have many friends that are in a lower race than I am. Yeah. I'm superior race-wise. But I'm still friends with them. I'm joking, maybe. Anyway, what's your opinion of this, man? Leave it in the comments below what you feel about the great Eddie Kramer and Ace Frehley. I think they're better than Gene and Paul, if you ask me. That's right. the two best collaborators in Kiss has always been Ace Frehley and Eddie Kramer, in my opinion, because the best studio album really is the Ace Frehley one. But what's your opinion? Leave it in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell. I totally would appreciate that, man. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.